So now for this video we're going to do a step-by-step build of this circuit for those of you that want some more practice building stuff on the breadboard. So what we're going to do, we're going to wire up the NPN bipolar junction transistor as a switch, but it fades off thanks to the capacitor. Turns on about instantly. The load is going to be an LED load right there. And so we got the transistor. I'm using the 2N3904, but this is a symbol for an NPN bipolar junction transistor, which the 2N3904 is. We could easily just swap this out with 2N22, any other NPN bipolar junction transistor. Just realize the pin layout may be different. So looking at the flat side there, the emitter is to the left, base in the middle, collector on the right. You know, check the data sheet to verify that if you're not 100% sure your memory is right, if you did know the pin layout before. And in any case, we're going to switch the LED right there. So we put that on the collector side. So if you have not cut the pins for the LED right there, the leads, the longer lead is the anode, shorter lead is the cathode. We also have a little shaved edge where the cathode is, but not all LEDs have that shaved edge. So we're putting the cathode to the collector right there. And we're going to protect the LED from 5 volts with the 220 ohm resistor when the transistor is on right there. So we have power to the board, but the transistor is not on yet. You need to give a signal to the base in order to turn it on. So we have that path right here just for turning it on and off. So let's start with the switch up here. And you got to put it in the right way. Also, you might have to adjust the pins so they fit in the board better. But in case, we got in the board, it's separated top to bottom. So top 2 pins are always connected together. Bottom 2 pins are always connected together. So we could have something always connected to the positive supply if we go over to that row to the right. But just realize we're just using the separation between top and bottom there. Now I'm going to take a 100 ohm resistor. We need to limit current from the switch to the base, because the base does not limit current on its own. It drops about 0.6 volts, but other than that, current flows through it freely. And then a 10K resistor. So we're adding this 100 ohm resistor so that we don't instantly charge the capacitor for the most part. And the capacitor will charge really quick, but once it's fully charged, the transistor will turn on fully. So it's practically instantly. And I'm off a spot, but we're going to come over to the base, and you can see a slight glow from the LED right there. That's because I'm giving it a weak signal right there. And it's less than a milliamp of current. It's not very much. You can see how dim the LED is. But that's something to be aware of. You'll often see a pull down resistor, which is just meant to absorb any signal like that. And so now we just have a switch, and there's much more current because I'm closing the switch right there, turning on and off. This is a basic just switch circuit, but we have 2 resistors instead of 1 for about 10,000 plus 100, so 10,100 ohms of resistance. Now we got the capacitor that we'll add, and that gives us our fade off time right there. So that's it for building the circuit. This capacitor is polarized. If you have a 100 microfarad capacitor, you can pretty much expect that's going to be polarized because the way they make them, they store more charge for a given size and expense, probably expense, versus a non-polarized capacitor. But in case there, you can see a gray band right there, and again a shorter lead where it goes more negative, and then a longer lead where it's more positive if you haven't cut them. But they do have that, and it just writes the value on there, although it ran off. So that's saying 100 microfarad running over to there. And so very easy to find the value capacitor you want if it's one of these polarized ones in a can right there. But yeah, that's it for building the circuit. When we close the switch, I don't know what I did wrong right there. Power's on. One of our connections must have come loose. There we go. That's what it was. That resistor, I think, came loose when I moved the capacitor out. These resistors are cheap. They're not as thick as most resistors, but I knew that when I bought that. Somebody commented on it. But they don't connect into the board as well as other resistors. But when you're practicing building stuff on the breadboard, it's good to learn to identify when you have bad connections, so it's not end of the world. I thought it was a good deal to buy when I got them, even though the pins are cheaper. But in any case, we close the switch. It charges the capacitor really quick because we got a low value there, and it's a relatively low value capacitor. For a circuit like this, it's a large value, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of capacitance. So through a 100 ohm resistor, it charges really quickly, and at the same time, the transistor turns on once we get above 0.6 volts, which again is really quickly. But when I release the switch, I should probably stop pressing it, then the capacitor discharges. Now, the transistor has a gain, which means for however much current is flowing through base to emitter, it's going to allow probably about 200, it varies a bit depending on different situations, but about 200 times as much current will be allowed to flow through collector to emitter. So as the capacitor discharges and less current is flowing, at some point it's not going to allow as much current to flow through as the LED and resistor set on their own with the 5 volts right there. The capacitor is going to limit current as the transistor, is going to limit current as the capacitor current goes down.